Hi, I'm James Williams and this is Chimes Media with Union Jack and St George's. Well, it is World Cup time, so I've got to support England, I suppose. Just to get the hat the right way around. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about this time is the police. How police and crime basically has altered in the way it's presented over time. Just briefly, an elderly friend of mine owns a property which he let out, and unfortunately she had a tenant from hell, I should put it like that, who didn't pay his rent on time, and certainly was well in arrears, not just with her but other things. Eventually just up and left without any notice at all. So we went to the property. There were no keys to get in, ironically, and so we had to use a locksmith to get into the place. When we got in, we found the place totally trashed. She's 91, and obviously that was a bit of a shock to her. Okay, so we had the place assessed by an independent estate agent, and he reckoned the cost to put things right ran to £20,000. Now, I took copious photographs of this place, and there was quite clearly criminal damage. Stair banisters were removed, there was things torn down. It wasn't simply a case of just simply trashing it. It was an attempt to wreck things. Even the toilet wasn't properly secured. That's how bad it was. So we think, well, okay, this seems to be, as it's criminal damage, just as you would get with a burglary. Let's go to the police. So we went to the local police station. I found out they were the only police station operating in Portsmouth. Apparently all the other police stations have closed down, or they're only open at weekends, that kind of thing. That's interesting. So went to the local police, and after much ado, no, we don't deal with that. That's a thing for civil matter. I said, well, there's criminal damage there. We've got photographic evidence of it. They weren't interested. Okay, so I started thinking about other things. I started looking at other matters, and I noticed over time, because occasionally you have to report crimes or whatever you come across, and I don't blame the police individually for this, right? But it seems that certain categories of offence, like I've had before, my garage blocked by another vehicle, so I wanted to go to a meeting somewhere, or to go to work. I can't go using my vehicle. I have to find other means because someone's blocked it. But the police aren't interested. It's not a case that they're not interested. They claim, and I have to take their word for it, they don't have the resources to spend on such a thing. So you think about things. Let's see like this. Now, you're compelled to phone up 101 to make an all police complaint about something, an offence or whatever it is that's happening to you. 101. Other times, if it's an emergency, 999 is what you phone. That's how you do it in the UK. But let's say on a broader scope, if you wanted to show that crime was falling, best way of doing that is remove all the police, so there's no one to report to. And the only crimes you would get would be white-collar type crimes investigated by the Inland Revenue, or Customs and Revenue as they're called nowadays, or another government body. So that's the only crimes that could get registered, because the police are the number one source of registering a crime. If they're not there, they can't register it. Okay? So we look at the crime statistics, and you can look at them online yourself any time if you can find them. Not so easy to find the graphs, but if you know where to look, you can find them. And violent crime is on the way up, and all sorts of various other crimes, person crimes are on the way up. Now, I've seen how easy it is for people to get arrested for something like hate crime. So there's different types of crime. Some crimes are very easy to prove. If you phone up somebody in the middle of the night and give them heavy breathing or make some harassing comment, they can trace that. They can trace that if they want to. It's a fairly easy crime to track down. But if you have to actually send police officers out to engage with something, that's a much more difficult thing. It's if you've got a complaint, if you've got an angry neighbour or whatever it may be, it's more difficult to deal with because you're dealing with interpersonal stuff. There's a lot of report writing and stuff like that goes on. So if you haven't got police officers at all, they can't do that. So therefore, that particular offence, if say you've got somebody who's been aggressive towards you and there are no police officers, it's extremely difficult to report that as an offence and a potential crime. So when we're presented, I'm talking about the UK here, when we're presented with UK crime figures, how much suppression of those crime figures is occurring? Are we being not shown the full picture because there aren't the police to record the offences? And not only that, at the front desk of reporting a crime, a lot of it will get filtered out and say, well, it's a civil matter, not a criminal matter. How much of it is that? We don't know. So it tends to put a little bit of distrust. I have a little bit of distrust in what we're being told about crime and antisocial behaviour, things like that. I've had one of my elderly friends coming back from bingo, whatever. She's been mugged twice, not far from her neighbourhood, from her home. Only on one of those occasions was it sort of registered as such, and nothing was, even though there was CCTV camera to film the event, nobody got prosecuted. So there we are, two personal things that I know of that happened to a friend of mine, elderly friend, and one of them was actually, there was 7 men tried to accost her late at night, and they had knives on them as well. And she was only saved because someone came round the corner with a staff bull terrier and chased them off, basically. But how many crimes are not getting reported or not getting processed? Well, we don't know. But if violent crime is on the increase, if some of these offences are on the increase, then it's probably worse than we realise. Okay, until next time, take care of yourself.